If you're familiar with Yu-Gi-Oh, you'll know that the Blue Eyes White Dragon is one of the most iconic monsters of all time. So much so that even people who don't know Yu-Gi-Oh have heard of the Blue Eyes White Dragon. Unfortunately, when it comes to the modern card game, Blue Eyes hasn't quite had that same threatening aura for a very long time. Until now. Join me as I document my journey starting from a single structure deck, trading, upgrading, and dueling my way with Blue Eyes to the top of the competitive ladder. Let's make Kaiba proud and playing Yu-Gi-Oh properly, Season 3. Aye! Subscribe. Do I just sit like this? Alright, today is a very exciting day because we get to test our first additional engine in the Blue Eyes deck. Last episode, we picked up the majority of the Metalmorph core, so literally all we need now is Black Metal Dragon, and we're good to go. It's not every day you get to play Red Eyes and Blue Eyes cards in the same deck. I mean, Joey and Kaiba were never really two to get along, but here we are. Takes me back to a video I did about 4 years ago trying to do something similar, but this time, it's not a meme. This means that for the first time in this series so far, I get to show you some new combos, which is always fun. But we do, of course, need to make sure that we have some good stuff in our trade binder to convince a fellow duelist to part with their black metal dragons. So 30 fresh pounds loaded up. Let's see what we get. Also, shout out to these legends for supporting the channel. You guys got to see this episode a day early. Hope you enjoyed it. Bit of a weird setup today, but we are literally opening these up at locals. See, we got the Beyblade and shit, hell yeah, in the back rooms. 4 packs of Quarter Century Stampede, Fubulos, Engravers, Magia. We pull any of that good stuff, it's ours, bro. We're playing that shit. But anything else? Easy trade bait. All right, we got Memento Tolan Bone Party, Platinum Secret Rare, the Eye of Timaeus. Oh, that's a DM card. That could be maybe worth a little bit. Secret Hita. Sad. We got Giant Hand and Leo Dancer. All right, first pack. Bit of a dud, let's be real. Moving on. Okay, baby, now we're talking. All right, shiny pack. We got Super Rare Live Twin Lilla. This is a very shiny. Oh my god, look at this. Quarter Century Secret Rare Link Monster. Ooh, World Sea Dragon Z Atlantis. I don't think I have this one in Treasure Hunters. Am I gonna have to trade myself again? Yeah, I need that one, bro. We have a Collector's Rare Trap Trick Sarah and a Platinum Secret Rare Star Drawing, followed by the Onomatopoeia. Dude, if that had like a Fubulos in it as well, that would have been a crazy pack. All right, pack number 3. Heavy Infantry. Another QCR? Collector's Rare? Ultimate Rare. Zodiac Barrage. Ooh, cringe. Platinum Secret Rare. We have Durek Meteor, Amblo Whale, and another Barrage, bro. Dude, where's the Fubulos? We're not really pulling much money today, but oh well. All right, number 11, Big Eye. We have Platinum Secret Rare, Pantheism of the Monarchs, Crystal Clearwing Synchro Dragon. We can't play that, unfortunately. Live Twin Kissikill, and final card, Cyber Dragon Core, Ultra Rare. Okay, don't know if we got much desirable stuff here, but you know, goes in the trade binder, baby. Let's go. My god, have we been busy, bro. We have once again so many new shiny toys to play with and so many new cards to experiment with here. There's going to be so many combos to show you after this little section, but yeah, this is the result of our most recent trade session. Let's get into the new cards, shall we? So, we finally picked up our 3 copies of Artifact Lancia from Kami. This was part of the trade in the last episode for the Secret Masquerena, where we got 3 copies of Bingo Machine Go. I've just realized this is like bent at the bottom, so I'm probably gonna have to replace that. But yeah, 3 copies of Artifact Lancia. Obviously, this is there for Malice, one of the best decks in the format, and at the same time, Chris John hate this card as well. Malice do get better against Lancia post-Alliance Insight. However, it's still very, very good against the deck. Even for Nationals, probably going to be in the side deck. Moving on from there, we have 3 copies of Super Rare Black Metal Dragon picked up from Daryl in exchange for, I think it was a secret rare crystal wing thing. Obviously a super rare in rarity 4, so not really worth anything. Cheap as chips to pick up, bro. Very, very cheap engine, the Metalmorph package in this deck. One of my favorite normal summons in the entire game. It's like this or Formud Skipper. When this leaves the field and goes to the graveyard, just search any Red Eyes card. Not a hard once per turn, so you can keep resolving that. Pisty, bring it back, link it off, search again. Dude, I love this card so much. It's gonna be so fun to play with this card today, so finally able to play a new engine in the deck. 3 copies of Black Metal Dragon. Very, very nice. Next up, we did a trade with Savas and picked up 2 copies of Secret Rare Book of Eclipse. We pooled an ultra rare in one of the previous episodes, so that's gonna be our play set of Eclipse completed. We also got 3 copies of super rare Droll and Lockbird. This is also going to be like one of the most powerful cards in the upcoming format. Just so many decks fold to Droll or like can't do much into Droll, especially if they start with like Engraver or Tract or like Pressured Planet. Droll just shuts off so many strategies. Even Blue Eyes can struggle against this as well. We also got a copy of Lina. This is like a Blue Eyes staple. Kind of good for the mirror match and steel and light monsters, but it is one of the cards that comes up the least generally in the Blue Eyes deck. So yeah, very cuttable card, but I thought we might as well pick it up because it's not really worth anything. And we also got a copy of SP Little Knight to finish the trade here. We got all of this for our Ultra Raid Soth, our Eclipse Twins, our Super Masquerena, and the Mitsurugi Ritual monster, the ultra rare. Very, very nice trade. Gonna really help our deck moving forward. And then the final trade was with Kami. This is, I don't know if this is good or bad, right? It's purely for experimentation and fun, I guess. But in this trade, we picked up Ancient Fairy Dragon, which, you know, Ancient Fairy Dragon, very cool. You can summon this off of Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, and this can pop your field spell, gain 1,000 life points, and add a different field spell. And the field spell we have opted to add is Secret Village of the Spellcasters, because in the combo, you can summon Ancient Fairy Dragon, search for a Secret Village, and then on your opponent's turn, you can True Light summon the Blue Eyes, and then Maiden will come back, and then if they try and attack over the Maiden, Maiden can just reborn another Spellcaster. So yeah, Ancient Fairy into the Secret Village. Don't know if this is gonna be good, but I thought, hey, game 3 or 2 or whatever, people are going to be siding in the back row hate like Lightning Storm and Harpy's Feather Duster. If we can lock them out of that, then Secret Village can be very, very helpful in that regard. But we took it a step further. Again, I don't know if this is good, but alongside that little combo, we picked up a copy of Zorua, the Magistus Conflagrant Calamity. This is a common, dude. I thought this was like only available in Secret Rare. This is bulk cast common. Alongside that, we grabbed Iwas, the Magistus Spell Spirit, a fusion monster. We got Varam, the Magistus Divinity Dragon, a Synchro. And we got Artemis, the Magistus Moon Maiden, a Link monster. Kami did not have any of the Xyz monsters. I really wanted the Link and the Xyz. And the reason for that is if you read Zorua, it's a level 8 spellcaster, okay? But on summon, it can equip a Magistus monster from the extra deck. So on summon of this, you would equip Artemis, and then your opponent cannot activate effects of monsters with the same original type of the monster you have equipped. So say we're against Malice, we summon Zorua and equip it with Artemis. They cannot activate the effects of Link monsters. So with the Magistus Xyz monster equipped to this, for example, Raziel, they wouldn't be able to activate Xyz monsters. That seems pretty strong, but it is like a big resource commitment. It requires both of your normal summons to go into this basically, but I feel like that could just steal games, especially when it comes off the back of Ancient Fairy Dragon into Secret Village. Like, this is a spellcaster fulfilling your spellcaster for Secret Village, but it's also locking your opponent out of whatever extra deck mechanic they typically play. So I'll show you what that looks like as well in a minute, what the combo looks like for that. This has nothing to do with the Metalmorph package. This is purely just like a little Blue Eyes play you can do. We realized all of this literally just bulk, right? This was for the quarter century Secret Rare Zealantis from Kami. All of this is basically just bulk. So on top of that, we got 3 copies of Solemn Judgment for the side deck. Dude, our side deck is looking so good now. Look at all these staples we got today. Whew, we can finally remove the fluff and have a solid side deck. Like, Solemn Judgment helps with the Lightning Storm and Feather Duster weaknesses, but also, like, you can just set this back with Tyrant, and a lot of the time, if you are at that point where you're resetting Judgment with Tyrant, you're probably winning the game. So very fruitful ventures in the trading department today. I think we'll go through some of the new combos, and then I'll give you our updated deck profile. So we are going to start off with the Metalmorph engine, and then I'll show you the Ancient Fairy stuff after. Alright, here we go. So, the Metal Engine, very small package. We got the 3 Black Metal Dragon and the 1-for-1, of course, for 4 starters. We got the Full Metal Dragon and the Max Metalmorph. These are also fine to see as long as you can play with your Blue Eyes cards. It still adds the Omni Negate to the end board. And then we have Red MD, which is like the brickiest card out of all 7. This engine helps the deck with a bunch of its issues. It puts up an Omni Negate, so things like Harpy's Feather Duster and Lightning Storm are much less of a threat. And it doesn't really care about Nibiru. If you only see the Metal Engine, then getting Nibiru actually makes your end board stronger. But if you have your full combo, getting Nibiru, you still end on multiple interruptions, including the Omni Negate. So that's like 3 of the deck's 4 main issues going first. The last issue is Droll. If you start with Black Metal Dragon, Droll really hurts. That's kind of similar to most of the engines you play in the Blue Eyes deck. Like, if you start with an engine that searches, then Droll just like destroys your turn. However, if you're able to make sure that your first search in the turn is Wishes, then you should be fine. So it's like hand dependent, and that all comes down to learning how to like sequence your hands and combo accordingly, which we'll probably go into more depth with in the next episode. So while this all does sound really good on paper, it does kind of amplify some of the deck's other issues. For example, going second, this engine doesn't really apply much pressure on its own. You could, in theory, side out the entire package for like hand traps and whatnot, but then like that requires very specific siding patterns, and it just doesn't save the deck enough when it comes to going second. I don't think anyone is really playing the Black Meteor Dragon, but when it comes to going second, I think this is a must over these. So that you can at least apply pressure. So you would go Black Metal Dragon into the Spirit with Eyes of Blue, add the Red MD and the Field Spell. You can summon the Red MD by banishing the Link 1, and then if you're against like a Caesar, you can go Field Spell, dump Blue Eyes, target Red MD, punch over Caesar. Also from there, you can go Red MD, summon Black Metal Dragon. Black Metal Dragon links into like Relinquished Anima, gets a search for the Meteor Dragon. Then you can summon the Meteor Dragon and threaten an SP banish as well. So that allows you to kind of crack boards that way. So I think this, like in the side deck, I guess, because you don't really want to main it, kind of solves that issue to a certain degree, but we don't have Relinquished Anima, so we're not going to worry about that in this episode. 1-for-1 can be kind of awkward if you have like all spells or like 1 monster starter and the rest spells and traps, and then you just can't really resolve the 1-for-1. But it's also good in the fact that, say you already have Black Metal Dragon, this gets you to your Blue Eyes engine as well, because you can summon Maiden and then Maiden effect on field, place in the True Light, and go from there. Very cheap, very efficient upgrades to the pure Blue Eyes deck, but dude, having 3 more cards in the deck that require some kind of setup is just, in a deck with so many bricks already, dude, it's, I don't know if it's optimal. But we are going to be playing it for a couple of episodes, so we're going to figure everything out. Let's get into some combos, baby. All right, so combo number 1. Kind of sounds like there's going to be multiple combos. There's really not, because the engines are very streamlined and very linear. So this is if you only see the Metal Engine. So here we have 4 hand traps plus Black Metal Dragon. This is going to be nib-proof. All the combos involving the Metal Engine is kind of like nib-proof, I guess, or like good versus nib. So we're going to normal summon Black Metal Dragon and link it away for our Link 1, Spirit with Eyes of Blue. The chain link here actually matters. If we don't have any Blue Eyes cards in hand, we'll go chain link 1 Black Metal, chain link 2 Spirit, because we want to get the, you know, some kind of interruption. But if we do have like a Sage or whatever in hand, then we'll go chain link 1 Spirit, chain link 2 Black Metal, because then we prioritize the additional normal summon. And this is just there to bait hand traps. So yeah, assuming there's no interruptions here, we go chain link 1 Black Metal, chain link 2 Spirit, grabbing the Red MD and the Mausoleum to hand. We're then going to special summon the Red MD by banishing Spirit and activating its effect to summon back the Black Metal Dragon. And now as summon number 5, we are going to link into our spheres, once again triggering the Black Metal Dragon to add Full Metal. We now activate the effect of Full Metal, shuffling itself into the deck to place the trap card, Max Metalmorph, and that is it. That's literally the Metal Engine. It's like Spheres plus Savage, because you get an Omni Negate and then you have Spheres, except it requires certain sequencing. But assuming we get Nibiru, right? Let's say, okay, we go end the main, our opponent has Nibiru, they're like, okay, whatever, I'll just Nibiru here then. Spheres gets tributed. Mandatory effect of Spheres is going to summon out the Neo Kaiser Seahorse. You have to play at least one for this combo to make your deck resilient to Nibiru. And this is going to get you to your entire Blue Eyes engine. We link off the Neo Kaiser Seahorse into our second Spirit with Eyes of Blue, activating the effect of Seahorse, dumping Maiden. We can then activate the field spell, and the field spell effect targeting the Spirit to dump Blue Eyes White Dragon. We'll activate the on-field effect of Spirit to summon back the Blue Eyes from the grave, which will of course trigger the Maiden in grave as well. And we will then activate the effect of Maiden to place the True Light. Then go effect of True Light, setting Wishes. And of course we're just going to activate the Wishes, pitching a card from hand to add Sage and Majesty. Of course we have not used our additional normal summon yet. So this is where that happens. We will additional normal summon of Sage, effect, adding the effect Veiler. We'll go effect of Wishes as well, targeting the Blue Eyes just to put a targeting negate engrave because we can. And then we'll synchro into the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, set the Majesty, pass turn. So this is through Nibiru. We have the Spirit, we have the Majesty, we have the effect Veiler, and then on the opponent's turn in their draw phase, we'll go True Light to summon. Summon the Blue Eyes. You can summon Maiden here, or you can wait until you potentially get to Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit, and then end phase, summons back Blue Eyes, summons back Maiden, but we'll just summon back the Maiden here just so we're aware that it's there. Still in the draw phase, we'll go Max Metalmorph, tribute the Blue Eyes, and summon out the Omni Negate, obviously equipping. So literally, our board is stronger through the Nibiru than it would have been without the Nibiru if we open just the Black Metal Dragon. All right, now let's see what happens when we open both the Metal Engine and a Blue Eyes starter. All right, now we're doing the combo where we have access to both of our engines. Ideally, we want like Wishes or Maiden rather than Sage because this 2-card combo plays into Droll, unfortunately. But yeah, let's just show you how it goes. Our opponent does not have Droll. We'll normal summon the Black Metal Dragon and link into our Link 1. Since we have Sage in hand, we're going to go chain 1 Spirit and chain 2 Black Metal, adding, of course, the Red MD and the field spell here, just like before. Banish to summon Red MD. Red MD effect, summon back Black Metal Dragon. And summon number 5, we go into the Spheres, triggering once again the Black Metal Dragon to add the Full Metal. You can activate the Full Metal, shuffling itself into the deck to place the trap card, Max Metalmorph. I'll just keep them face up right now. And now we don't need Nibiru to pivot into our Blue Eyes engine because we can activate the field spell and use our additional normal summon on this Sage. Sage effect is going to grab us the Maiden. We'll activate the effect of Maiden to grab True Light. We can now link Sage into the second Link 1. Effect of Mausoleum, targeting the Spirit to dump the Blue Eyes. And then effect of Spirit to summon back the Blue Eyes, and therefore the Maiden as well. Synchroning these two into the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, we can activate the effect of True Light. You don't necessarily have to go for Wishes here. Like, if you feel like your opponent has been holding an Ash, you could just set Majesty, but then if your opponent is holding the Ash, they can then use it on the Max Metalmorph on their turn. So no, we'll go True Light, set the Wishes, activate Wishes, pitch a card from hand, adding the Majesty and the effect Veiler, set the Majesty, and attempt to pass turn here. Once again, in our opponent's draw phase, we can go True Light, summon back the Blue Eyes, tribute the Blue Eyes for the Omni Negate, and then they are cooked. But full combo here, let's assume our opponent also has Nibiru. So Nibiru. We get Nibiru right here, tributing both of our monsters. Spheres will activate, and this time, Neo Kaiser Seahorse isn't really going to get us very far. So we would summon Magna, activate the effect. Then if we had Druisworm, we can add the Druisworm in the end phase for an additional interruption. Our opponent's turn, Max Metalmorph can tribute the Magna because it is 0/0 to summon out the Omni Negate. We have the Majesty live, Veiler in hand. True Light can summon back, of course, the Blue Eyes and the Maiden. Yeah, pretty strong through the Nibiru still. So yeah, the Metal Engine really does help with that kind of weakness, especially having the Full Metal to stop any Feather Dusters or Lightning Storms, you know? But yeah, that's really all there is to it, to be honest. Like I said, very simple engine, very linear combos. It doesn't really intertwine with the different combo lines. You always just start Metal, and then pivot to Blue Eyes. That's it. So yeah, now I can show you the Ancient Fairy stuff. All right, here we go. Finally, we have the Ancient Fairy combo, which is literally just a Blue Eyes combo. You can do it with essentially almost any Blue Eyes hand slash starter. We are just gonna go Sage plus discard here. So, normal summon Sage, activate the effect to add Maiden from the deck. We're then gonna link 1 into the Spirit with Eyes of Blue. Effect, gonna grab as a field spell. We'll activate the field spell and field spell effect target and Spirit to dump the Blue Eyes White Dragon. And then we'll go Maiden effect to place True Light here. Spirit effect, summoning back the Blue Eyes White Dragon, is going to trigger the Maiden Engrave to summon back as well. And we can synchro these two into the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon before activating True Light to set a spell or trap. Of course, we're going to set Wishes and activate Wishes, pitching our 1 card in hand to add Sage and Majesty. Now here, we're going to use our additional normal summon for the Sage effect on summon to grab an effect Veiler. We'll then go effect of Spirit, tagging out into the Ancient Fairy Dragon. Now, I think this is more of a game 3 combo. It's a time win condition because you're going to be gaining 1,000 life points off of the Ancient Fairy, but it's better to take them by surprise in game 3 than allowing them to side certain things that, you know, can out this board, I guess. So yeah, Ancient Fairy Dragon effect, we're going to pop the Mausoleum of White and add the Secret Village of the Spellcasters, gaining 1,000 life points. And then we're going to synchro these two. I mean, there's options here. You could make Crystal Wing with these two, so you have a monster negate and your opponent would be locked out of spells. Or you could go into another link 1, make Spheres. You know, there's many different options, but here we are going to make Zorua, the Magistus Conflagrant Calamity. Effect on summon is going to equip Artemis. Of course, what you equip is deck dependent. Don't know if it's worth the space, but, you know, our opponent is locked out of Link Monster effects right now, and spells. And we have Effect Failure for a Monster Negate, and of course we have Majesty as well. So our opponent locked out of many things. Maybe this is like weak to stuff, like if we get Nibiru'd. I mean, our opponent would still be spell locked because True Light would just summon back and then we would get Maiden. Yes, there's your Secret Village lock with extra Magistus Spice, if you fancy. All right, let's get into the updated deck profile, and then we're going to take it to locals for the first time. Let's go. All right, here we go. The updated deck profile. We are no longer playing 40 cards because the introduction of the Metal Engine added a couple of extra cards that require setup. So we want to see those kind of hands with all cards that can't really do anything as little as possible. So we drown them out. Getting into the list, we of course have the 3 Blue Eyes White Dragon. As always, I want to play 2, but Kaiba won't let us. I think if it comes to like a big event, we will go down to 2, but while we're not struggling, we might as well just play the 3 and keep Kaiba happy. Of course, rest of the Blue Eyes engine, triple Sage, we got triple Maiden, 3 Wishes, we're on 2 Bingo this time, and the 1 Kaiser Seahorse for all of our starters. It's still 12 starters there. And then we have the Roar, the Mausoleum, the True Light, and the Majesty there as well. And that is the full Blue Eyes package. For the Metal Engine, we have, of course, the 3 Black Metal, the 1-for-1, the Red MD, the Full Metal, and the Trap card, Max Metalmorph. So in total, 12, 13, 14, 15, there's 16 starters. And then if you include Magnamuk on second, there's like 17. It's like decent-ish, but again, I don't think it's fully optimal in terms of like the best build for Blue Eyes. But yeah, the rest of the deck is essentially just non-engine. We have 3 Ash, 3 Droll now, 3 Veiler. Droll's also a spellcaster, so you can normal summon Droll going into the Link 1, which is fun. Triple Imperm, triple Nibiru, we have the Magnamut, the Talents, the Codby, and the Secret Village as well. Kind of want to put this in the side deck, honestly, if it's just a game 3 tech, but yeah, it's in the main deck for now. So 45 cards in the main deck. I would try not to go higher than 45, honestly. Hopefully this is like the highest number we play in the entire series, unless we play like a 60 card pile or something. But yeah, pretty complete list, honestly, for this build of the deck in terms of like how early on we are in the series. Moving on to the extra deck, we have 2 Spirit with Eyes of Blue, 2 Seals, we got 2 Spirit Synchro for the Ancient Fairy, Lightstorm, Moonlight, and the Ultimate Spirit. Of course, we have the Neo Ultimate and the Blue Eyes Tyrant Dragon. I kind of want to play a second one of these, or maybe you play a second one of these. I don't know. It's It's weird because if you wishes equip this going first, game 1 for the negate in graveyard, without ultimate fusion, it's kind of hard to summon this, like on turn 3. Do you just not put the negate in the graveyard? That feels kind of weird as well. So maybe 2 of these is right. I'm not 100% sure. We have the SP Little Knight as well. And then we have the Zoroa and the Artemis. I feel like this build does need relinquished anima. So maybe we probably cut these 2. I don't know. Like these are probably just like a meme. Put in the anima and then maybe like a Typhon or something, I guess. And then that would pretty much round out the entire deck. And then for the side deck, we have 3 brand new copies of Solemn Judgment. Let's go. There's a debate between this and Strike. I think this is really nice into things like Feather Duster and whatnot, but then again, we do have the Omni Negate that protects us from Duster, so maybe there's an argument to play Strike, because if you open just Judgment, it's kind of spooky. If you and your opponent both break, then Judgment, like, sure, it stops your opponent, but if your opponent has a hand trap, you can't Judgment a hand trap. So yeah, there's an argument for both. We're playing Judgment right now. We only have Judgment right now. We own 1 Strike. Triple Eclipse, we have Triple Lancia, Triple Cyclone, Duster, and then 2 of the additional Magistus extra deck cards. No Xyz, but I guess these are just like locals techs. Like maybe we play against Branded, or maybe we play against, I don't know, like Blue Eyes or something. Centurion, I don't know. But yeah, that is the list in episode 4 here. Let's see how it performs at locals. Let's go. I'm excited to normal summon Black Metal Dragon, man. Gaming time. I do want to get more opinions. Do you guys prefer like the commentary or the locals audio? We are going to be commentating again today because the microphones weren't charged, but maybe you guys prefer that, so that's fine, no problem. This is round 1 of locals and we're paired against Daryl. My win rate against Daryl is really low because I'm usually playing a bad deck. Hopefully we can change that today. We win the dice roll and he is playing White Forest Azamina Fiendsmith. Pretty strong deck, but let's see if we can take it down. It's time to duel, baby. I will start. GLHM. Alright, so going first, we have a pretty awkward hand. We have Maiden, which is combo at least, Double Droll, Nibiru, and Secret Village. Of course, we start with the Maiden to place True Light. True Light sets Wishes, and we activate Wishes, discarding our Secret Village for cost, but we get hit with an Ash Blossom. From there, we normal summon one of our Droll and Lockbirds, link into the Spirit with Eyes of Blue, adding the field spell, activate the field spell and its effect, dumping Blue Eyes White Dragon, Spirit effect to summon back the Blue Eyes White Dragon, Maiden effect to summon back, and then we synchro into Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon, and pass turn with Droll and Nibiru in hand. Daryl goes into the main phase and starts with Wanted at Diabellstar. We do activate the Droll on resolution, but of course he has the cross out for it. This is post ban list too, so he's a lucky guy, dude. But yeah, he follows up with Engraver, adding Tract, and then sends Droll to the grave to summon Diabellstar. Diabellstar sets Deception. Because he controls a spellcaster, he's able to activate Tales of the White Forest and adds a copy of LZ to the hand, flips Deception, sending Diabellstar to the graveyard to add Hallowed Azamina. And now we're kind of in a weird position because he's literally got all 3 engines in hand. I take a minute to think through some of his plays and read the wording on LZ and whatnot, but I think the threat of Ilya Sylvia forces us to tag out our Spirit Dragon into the Ultimate Spirit. Daryl activates Tract, and I'm pretty much forced to negate this because otherwise he can just get to Engraver, and Engraver would force the negate anyway. Hallowed Azamina comes down, sending Deception to the grave to summon out Murcielago, and on summon, Murcielago is going to add a copy of Morian. That's going to make the LZ in hand live. He does activate the effect of Wanted and Graveyard, putting back Deception to draw a card. Activates the LZ, sending Morian to grave to special summon itself and add a Sylvie. Special summons the Rusia he drew off of Wanted and synchros with the Murcielago into Chaos Angel for Light and Dark. And then goes Chaos Angel effect, target the Blue Eyes Ultimate Spirit Dragon. Of course, that is going to resolve. We can't really stop that, but he is running out of options. He activates Hallowed Azamina and Graveyard to add back by shuffling back the Murcielago. Normal summon Sylvie, adding Azamina Apps. It currently only has 1 bounce thanks to the Chaos Angel, but if we allow him to synchro summon, it's going to have another bounce. So here we just drop the Nibiru. With no forms of extension left, he just goes to the battle phase, clears the Nibiru, sets the Azamina Apps, and passes turn. Of course, in the end phase, we're going to activate True Light to summon back the Blue Eyes White Dragon and the Maiden. Draw for turn, we draw another Maiden, and figure out how we're going to deal with this. We do activate Wishes and Grave, equipping the Neo Blue Eyes Ultimate to Blue Eyes. I then stumble around for a little bit trying to figure out the best way to deal with this, because I can't activate True Light until after the apps has been dealt with, because otherwise you just chain it to the True Light and bounce True Light so it doesn't resolve. We want the Negate in Graveyard so we can't target any Blue Eyes monsters. Our only real way of dealing with the Chaos Angel is with Majesty, so we're definitely not going to be able to kill this turn. It's just a case of like generating as much interruptions or bodies as possible. The question is, do we just go Lightstorm Dragon and force the apps getting Lightstorm Dragon bounced in return, or do we try and play around it where we only summon like Blue Eyes monsters from the extra deck? I summon Tyrant to get the Blue Eyes in graveyard, and then go Field Spell, target Maiden, chain Maiden, target Blue Eyes in grave to summon back, then of course we dump the Blue Eyes. I realize we're just gonna have to force the apps, so we synchro with the Tyrant Dragon into Lightstorm, target the back row, and of course Daryl's going to chain the apps here, and he targets a True Light. That resolves. I have no issue with that. I was just hoping he wouldn't bounce the Lightstorm Dragon because there's a really funny play that I want to go for. On resolution of that, we just activate Maiden to place the True Light back, go True Light effect, setting the Majesty, and then we're going to go to the battle phase. You can't really see the Nibiru token on the field there because it's like a little orange dice. I do forget that it has the battle protection as well from Chaos Angel, so I attack into the token with Blue Eyes. Nothing happens, of course. Okay, fine. Well, Lightstorm Dragon isn't doing anything right now, so let's just crash it into the Chaos Angel. We take a little bit of damage, but at the end of the damage step, we activate its effect, setting back the secret village of the spellcasters. Yo, we're gonna spell lock a spellcaster deck. Main phase 2, we activate the field spell and pass turn. Daryl's draw phase, we go True Light to summon. He chains Wanted to add the Deal Bellstar back from the graveyard. And of course, we're gonna summon the Blue Eyes and the Maiden as well. Wanted draws him another card, so we know he has Deal Bellstar, Hallowed Azamina, and one unknown in hand. From here, he goes to the battle phase, I think attempting to force out the Majesty, although we can't really activate Majesty because he has Deal Bellstar in hand, and that will allow him to just go through all the spells in main phase 2. So token attacks Maiden, we activate Maiden, summon back another Maiden from graveyard. Chaos Angel attacks the second Maiden, and yeah, that's fine, we go to main phase 2 now. The Bellstar sends Called by the Grave to special summon itself, and then activates its effect to set Deception. We know the last card in hand is Hallowed Azamina, so we just flip Majesty. We have 2 Blue Eyes on field, so we're going to pop the Chaos Angel and the set Deception, and from there he's not going to be able to do anything except potentially summon a Typhon, but that's not going to be enough. Does proceed to do exactly that, and you know what they say, when you summon Typhon, you pretty much lose. I mean, unless you're playing against Raziel, that card almost just solos Raziel. But yeah, summons Typhon, activates the effect, bounces a Blue Eyes to hand, we draw for turn, like, we're golden, bro. We could waste time looking for lethal, or you could just scoop him up. Alright, game 2, we got Daryl on the play going first here. He is going to start off with a Deal Bellstar, sending Imperm for cost, and on her effect, we are going to hit her with an Imperm in return. He's going to follow that up with the normal summon of a Lacrima, activating her effect to dump an Engraver to the graveyard. I think normal summon Lacrima kind of signals that there's no White Forest plays in hand, which is pretty good for us. He links a Lacrima into a Requiem, and then immediately fires off the Requiem effect to summon from deck. Probably going to be an Engraver. You still get to either Caesar or the Desiree here. I guess you're just always going Caesar into a full hand, right, if you have the choice, because Caesar's like 2 interruptions, whereas Desiree is only 1. But yeah, Requiem equips to the Engraver, he contact fuses into the Necro Quip, shuffles back Engraver for Engraver, and on summon, I'm gonna hit him with a rock, baby. Everything he worked towards crumbles, and we're feeling really good, although it is a pretty beefy token, not gonna lie. With 2 cards left in hand, he activates Talents to check our hand, which I think is a huge gamble. We have Black Metal, Kaiser Seahorse, and the Max Metalmorph. He chooses to shuffle back the Kaiser Seahorse. After that, he simply passes turn. He's got Requiem and Lacrima engraved, so that's a Desiree setup. And then the token, if I can't clear the token, we're in big trouble. We do need a very solid draw here. Literally any Blue Eyes starter will do it, man, please. Except Neo Kaiser Seahorse, because we can't additional normal summon the Kaiser Seahorse, which, you know, is the one downside. So yeah, we normal summon Black Metal Dragon. That's going to prompt Daryl to do his little Fiendsmith combo here. Lacrima, summon back the Link 1, summon Lacrima, Lacrima, dump Paradise. We then link into Spirit with Eyes of Blue, chain 1 Spirit, chain 2 Black Metal Dragon. That's all going to resolve, so we're going to grab a Red MD and a Field Spell to the hand here. Unfortunately, the Paradise does just check the Red MD. Like, if we summon Red MD, then Paradise dump Desiree, then Desiree sends Red MD, and we kind of get cut off from the Metal Engine. Maybe if we had Anima and Black Meteor Dragon, things would be different here, but yeah, we summon the Red MD by banishing the Link 1. That's going to be met with the activation of Paradise. Paradise sends Desiree to the graveyard. Desiree shuffles 1 back to send the Red MD. And now we just need a Blue Eyes starter. We go Wishes. Do we discard the Field Spell or do we discard Max Metalmorph? That's the question. If Wishes resolves, we don't actually need the additional normal summon because we could just search Roar plus Maiden and play from there, and the Max Metalmorph would add the Omni Negate on top of that on the crackback, but Daryl does have the Ash Blossom as his last card in hand. With no plays left to make and Daryl with full Fiendsmith setup in Graveyard, literally just a Desiree is able to stop any top deck we get. I do scoop it up here, but maybe I shouldn't have, because watching this back, he top decks a trap card, and the Graveyard setup is only really able to get him to Engraver plus like equipped Requiem. Okay, interesting. Maybe I fucked that up. Maybe I shouldn't have scooped. Game 3, we're back to comboing, baby, and we have a really good hand this time. We normal summon Black Metal Dragon, link into the Spirit, and Chainlink 1 Black Metal, Chainlink 2 Spirit, add in the Field Spell and Red MD. We're then going to special summon Red MD by banishing Spirit, summon back the Black Metal Dragon, make Spheres and summon number 5. Black Metal is, of course, going to trigger again, getting us the Full Metal Alchemist in hand. We're then going to activate Bingo, adding Wishes to the hand, of course, revealing 3. We have 3 in deck. We are going to activate said Wishes, and I'm not actually sure what we discard here. I think it might be a Roar. It's definitely a spell, at least. I really need to get a second camera and set up like a hand cam or something, but yeah, Wishes resolves. We add Sage plus Majesty, activate Field Spell, second normal summon on Sage, add Maiden. Just going to activate the Maiden to place the True Light, of course. There's nothing else to really set off of True Light, so we're just going to activate the Field Spell, dumping Blue Eyes, targeting Sage, activating True Light to summon the Blue Eyes, summon back the Maiden, Synchro into the Blue Eyes Spirit Dragon. Full Metal is going to set the Max Metalmorph from deck. We'll set Majesty, we'll set a Cosmic Cyclone, and pass turn with Maiden just chilling there as well. But in Daryl's draw phase, we'll summon back the Blue Eyes, activate the Max Metalmorph to summon from deck. That gets hit with Ash Blossom. Daryl then normal summons Rusia, which is a really weird play to me. I don't know what he's trying to do, but he's definitely trying to do something, so we just activate Majesty to remove it from the field. He follows that up with Fiendsmith's Tract, which is fine. Add Lori, discard Lori, cool. Lori activates in Graveyard. Chain 2 Spirit to negate Lori, Chain 3 Droll. On Resolution, to play around the Call by the Grave, we tag out the Spirit into the Ultimate Spirit, and then Daryl activates Feather Duster. I don't know if he was scared of like a Judgment or something, but bro, if you just open with the Feather Duster, we're kind of screwed. Obviously, we're going to negate the Feather Duster with Ultimate Spirit, and then he scoops from there. Not really the cleanest of wins, but we finally get the dub on Daryl, baby. Let's go. Round 2, we're up against Jamie's Odeon Blue Eyes deck. We set up full combo through Imperm and Purge and end up taking the match 2-0. Round 3, we played Savas on Fiendsmith Ubel. We're going first again, and we get hit with a Druis Worm, but we were still able to set up enough to stop him. Game 2, I did have the perfect hand to win the game, but I accidentally threw it by booking a Caesar instead of taking it with talents. Then time got called in Game 3, and I wasn't able to make Ancient Fairy, so it ended in a draw. For the 4th and final round, we played Garo on Fiendsmith Dream Mirror. I hit him with a Secret Village when he has Engraver and 4 spells. So, GG. Undefeated again, man. 3-0-1. And somehow, we've ended up with another first place finish. That's 2 in 4 episodes, dude. We're popping off. Man, we are 4 episodes deep, and we already have 2 locals wins under our belt, man. It really is just a testament of how good this, not only structure deck, but also strategy really is. Definitely a much better locals win than episode 2. Every round was a proper match against some, pretty strong decks. But we did get very lucky. We barely bricked. We almost seen both engines in like a good number of hands. Black Metal Dragon was everywhere. Love to see it. Really not sold on that engine for the final deck. But, it was fun to at least play something different today. And if we can keep getting locals wins, and, this many prize packs, we can really snowball into hopefully being able to afford to trade into something like Primite or Fiendsmith down the line. But let's get into the opening, baby. First place usually doesn't pull shit. It's always last place. We say that every time. Let's see what we get. We have the Winged Dragon Rat, Immortal Phoenix, Defense of the Temple, Sword Soul Strategist, Long One, Hollow's at the back, right? We can get 7th Tachyon here. Or Perulia. Perulia would be dope. Perform Mage, Water Dancer, we have Yare Head, Clear Rage Golem, and Clear Wall. Super rare. Okay, first pack's a dud. I did see a Swords Child got pulled, so, 7th Tachyon could happen, bro. We got Nebula Dragon, Herald of Orange Light, we got Sword Soul Emergence, Zillion Tank, Herald of Purple Light, Gladiator Beast, Heraklinos, and Ocean of Regeneration. I don't think I've seen this art before. What is this? You target one water monster with 1,000 once attacking a graveyard, special summon it. Wait, what's the attack on Water Barrier statue? Wait, Collector? It's not Collector. Chang Ying, we got Spirit Illusion, number C107, Dragon Circle, Clear Cube, Zillion, and we got a Trickstar Colchica. Our packs, not hitting. Not hitting, bro. Come on, man. We got A to Z Energy Load, Sword Soul Ataya, attacking on Transmigration, Dangers of the Divine, Rank Up Magic Argent Force. Give me some trade bait, bro. Heavy Infantry, we got. Man, this could have been the Perulia. Ancient Gear Statue. It's like a £2 Ultra or something. Very unfortunate. All right, next pack. Trickstar Diffusion. Clear Cube. Wind Drainer. Spirit Shield. We got Herald of Greenlight. Gladiator Beast Raklenos, and another Ultra Apophis the Serpent. That's actually, dude, a nice pull. We got trade bait, bro. This card is like a £10 to £15, I think, because Odeon is like kind of popping off. That deck is scary, dude. Evenly Matched, I think, is the only card I know is like typically good against the deck. Apophis the Serpent. Let's go, baby. We got a good ultra rare. Thank God. Solid trade bait. We can maybe trade towards like an Invoked Engine now. Easily, right? We only need 3 Alistair, Meltdown, maybe a Terraforming. Do we have Terraforming? I don't think we do. And potentially a Mechabat or like a Guades. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. Clear Vice Dragon, Allure Dance, Light Dragon at Ignister, A to Z Energy Load. We got Thunder Dragon Hawk, Spirit Shield. Another Ultra? Allure Palace. Okay, I can't complain. We got 2 Ultras. That's pretty good. Can we pull an Ulti Sage? Doesn't look like we did. Yo, if we pull another sequence, that would be hilarious. So Fafnir, we have Power Sink Stone and Black Sheep Token. Yo, we got a Nib token. Let's go. Sick. All right, well, first place, good pool, solid trade bait. Let's go. Good episode, I think. Good episode.